Hello everyone and welcome to another video with the update on the JP side, and JP is getting a fair bit of news actually, like really just a fair bit of news, so let's talk about it. So first of all, you need a bit of music. And even though the back is open, there should be no road noise. I have put in a bit of a suppressor on OBS, which should remove any ambient noise, so it should be okay, but let me know in this video, as opposed to just yelling at me for missing stuff and whatnot. Quick note for any global players watching, I did see that Randy's TMR is buffed, and I still don't think it matters. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about this event, and it shouldn't be any surprise. Basically, the raid events are related to the Mog Kings now, and here we are with Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, a Final Fantasy game that is not exactly the most revered out of all. I mean, people may complain about Final Fantasy 15 and whatnot, but Final Fantasy IV, the After Years is not very fondly looked at or remembered, it seems like. So yeah, we're looking at this as a raid, and the raids are basically, exactly as they always are. You'll be fighting Bahamut this time, which is kind of cool, and some mysterious girl. So that's kind of interesting, and there will also be some equipment to get as per usual. The equipment, heavy armor with some defense and spirit of 56, pretty nice. Upgrading it goes up to 74, so that's a pretty decent heavy armor for anybody who doesn't have really good heavy armor. A heavy shield with 36 defense and spirit, and an accessory with 19 attack, 10 defense, and 8 spirit. That's less impressive. What should be noted, though, is that, sorry JP players, you gotta deal with this shit now. The good news is that there shouldn't be that many JP players left. Hi-oh! And yeah, there isn't really much to say. It's raid rewards. We haven't seen this in a very long time, but obviously trying to get people to be competitive, to potentially refresh the game using Lapis and spend their resources so that they can get a higher rank to get tickets and some TMR moogles. I would say that this is not worth trying hard at all, but people are, at this point, the people who are left in the game are just going to either spend are going to be super into this or super not. I don't really think there's an in-between here, but 10% trust moogles just doesn't seem that good, and 5 regular tickets, is this where they're holding tickets now? Hostage over this? Hard to say. There will still be the same things as previous months, though. Raid bonuses for the new characters, as well as the raid boxes, which apparently won't be getting any worse this month, as they seem to be the same as the previous month, but they have been on a sliding scale for months, so I guess, it's only so far you can slide down the scale. And so you may be wondering who the new units are. Also, White Mage Rosa, the character from the free character from the Mog King at the beginning of the month, does give a 20% bonus, so you don't need to pull on this. As far as I know, it is also not a festival banner. So the new characters are not Summon Festival whatsoever, so you don't have to worry about that. That means you can UOC them if you really wanted to. It may be a question of who wants these characters. I'm sorry, I'm just not. Final Fantasy IV is not my favorite Final Fantasy, and the After Years is even less so. But this goes from the 21st to the 30th. Also, it should be said that because the raid duration of this is quite a bit shorter, only 6 days, which for anybody who's been following along, this has been a problem on JP a lot lately, of just constantly having this very accelerated pace in terms of dropping banners. And yeah, I guess the percentage up is nice, but man, they really just want to keep players out from doing other stuff. Anyway, so who do we got this time? Well, first of all, also there is a FF4, the After Years box, which seems to have Trust Moogle tickets, some special tickets, and some fest things, whatever the hell that is. Oh boy. Anyway, so let's talk about what we got here. First of all, let's get through the units really quickly. Ceodore, TMR is a sword, 135 attack, 30 spirit, and light element. Super TMR, heavy armor, 70 defense, 40 spirit, immune to poison, sleep, paralyze, confuse, petrify, and some % physical evasion. So physical evasion might be interesting depending on how much there is on it. The TMR is less than exciting though. Probably Ceodore's kit will be a very, very light-based kit, and that is always worrying. I'm always worried when a character is pigeon-held to a single element type, or very focused on a specific element type. Then again, some of the new characters lately have definitely not been that bad, so it's a little presumptuous, but I'm just being cautious to not overhype all of you. Limit Burst is an AoE defense ignoring damage, self, HP, and MP heal, AoE raise, and all ailments heal, and a damage mods up, as well as making toast and cleaning your windows every morning. Ceodore does have a lot going on in his Limit Burst, and that is probably good, because right now, as any character who is not a fest character, they will not be OP. So if they can be functionally interesting, as opposed to a lot of other units, that's worth noting. That's worth maybe getting excited about. But continuing on, he has single damage target in his kit. He has single damage fire and light damage in his kit with Imperil respectively. Depends how big the Imperil is. As well as single target damage and damage up on consecutive uses, so stacking damage. It'll probably be backloaded. He'll probably be a Stardust Ray Chainer. These are just the things that we come to expect nowadays. But hey, that armor looks really cool. And the other one is Ursula. I should note that I don't know who these characters are, and it doesn't really matter to me. I'm looking at in this case, out of all the banners that I've ever reviewed or looked at in the news I've reported on, this one I can report impartially because I just don't know these characters at all. Ursula, TMR materia, 50% attack with fists, and some % true dual wield. So a true dual wield fist user with a true dual wield like fist. This is interesting. I like this. There's a possibility that we will see a new version of Tifa someday. And if that is the case, then I am really, really excited to the idea of getting this TMR for Tifa. Oh, and Ursula might be able to use it really well. Anyway, looking at her Super TMR, heavy armor, 70 defense, 40 spirit, immune to poison, sleep, paralyze, confuse, petrify, and some % physical. Oh, wait, nope, sorry, I was reading the wrong one. My bad. That's Ceodore's. I read the same thing twice. I'm like, why does she have heavy armor? It's really actually quite hot here, and it's making me lose. This heat is making me thirsty. Anyway, Super TMR clothes, 50 attack, 30 defense, and immune to all ailments. Hey, this is actually really interesting. Again, which, you know, it feels like a actual Super TMR. High attack on a piece of clothing, which a lot of characters can equip, and immunity to all status ailments too, with some defense. Great for physical attackers, but this is kind of what we've seen. If the kits are probably going to be not as exciting, then the Super TMRs try to make up for it. So there is value here for people who are interested in the after years. All of you, put your hands up, please, so I can count you. Wind Attacker, single target wind damage with a self-limit burst fill, single target wind damage, and self-mirage for 3 hits, which is actually a pretty nice mirage, even if it's just for herself. Provoke, regen, and self-damage mitigation. So Ursula sounds a little bit interesting. A fist user that is not true dual hand with wind element that has self-mirage and provoke too. Could be really useful in trials. I know a lot of people might be saying, oh, well, Umbra, you don't care that much about them. The kits sound interesting. Without seeing the full thing, I don't ever really overly hyping these characters lately, but hey, might be something here. Step Up details will be announced later. This is Alum's game lately of just not telling people these step up. I don't know if it really gives them any kind of advantage to be like, Oh, we just won't tell them. We'll let them in later on the secret. Isn't that nice? Oh, yes. It's fine. I mean, we'll see what the step up looks like and whether it's bad or good. But apparently there is a use ticket on a box. Pull other tickets. FF4 unit tickets, Super TMR tickets. No details on the box's pool. So that must be the thing that we saw up here. This thing. And so that makes me a little more nervous about it. That really makes me nervous about it, but okay. And I would also like to introduce you to this. Now I'm going to say what it is first, and then I'm going to prep you so that you can write your angry comments at the same time that I'm speaking. Because I don't really care. I don't read the comments almost ever, especially on Brave Exvius stuff. But anyway, Alan will be offering a very generous bundle, which is for the 39 million downloads. I have a hard time believing that number. I feel it's a little coincidental that they're doing this 39 million downloads when a lot of people are pissed off. Anyway, 39 is just a really weird number to celebrate. It's my 39th birthday. Cool, you couldn't wait till you were 40 to really have a big one? No, we'll do that too, especially if we make people angry. So anyway, for 10,000 lapis, you get 1 pull on this, and it gives you 11 random rainbows and 2,500 coins. Like, it is by far in the history of Brave Exvius the best deal ever, hands down. 10,000 lapis for 11 rainbows. There has never been as good of a deal as there has ever been. And you may think, well, Umbra, you probably have something bad to say about this. And I do, but I'll wait till the end so that people who don't want to hear it can leave. Because there is one other piece of news, which is the rest of the 39 million download. For people basically over 3 5-day periods, roughly 4 or 5-day periods, you will get 3 free 11 pulls. Fest units are included in it. Good luck to people who get the Fest units, and bad luck to everyone else. Daily hidden treasures as well for a 9-day period, as well as an extra 10 quest clear daily mission. So doing 10 quests a day will give you a Super TMR ticket. Obviously, nice if if you're building towards that Super TMR. There you go. Alright, so that is basically all the JP news. Now I want to talk a little bit about the 39 million download thing, which is... A lot of people have wondered... I've seen some people posting, oh, this is Alum trying to get people back, this is such and so, this is, you know, enticing new players. I don't entirely know, because a pool of 11 rainbows, yeah, I guess it is nice, because it does give you a lot of rainbows to start the game, potentially, if you just farm up a little bit of lapis. This is not, to me, a thing that is going to get new players, and this is not something that is going to bring players back who have already left. Players who have already left probably left with very little to no resources. They are probably fed up with the direction that the game is going, and this is not... This is textbook, what I feel like is the abusive relationship that Brave Exvius has become. And this is kind of relevant because it is both on the global side, which is something I kind of want to talk about in a separate video, and on the JP side, which is something I want to talk about in this video. Recently, a lot lately, JP players have been getting the slack, the physical abuse, because it is like a actual abusive relationship, and Alum treats us really, well, I shouldn't say me per se, but treats the players very badly, and then they come back with the apology and this promise that we'll never do it again, we're not going to do this thing. So they do it in a slightly different way. They do something else that is equally as shitty. When I did my video about the UOC fail video, a lot of people said, well, it's the 7-stars the problem. And to be fair, I mean, it is a problem. I don't know if it was the problem, and I was more focused on the general handling of the UOC on the JP side in that specific video. The 7-star is something that I may talk about at a later date as a reflection video. But really, this is the same pattern that we've seen from Alum for a long time. So I get it. Players who are playing the JP side, who are on the global side, this looks amazing if you are still playing the game. Absolutely, I understand. It is a hell of a deal, and it is probably a deal that you should go on, because even if you do get just, really nothing from going on this, you do end up with 11 rainbows. And from what I believe, let me just double check, there was some discussion about it. I do believe that it was said that there should be the Summon Festival units in this, which is goes a long, is definitely even more enticing. If I have made that mistake, okay, I mean, there's a bit of a post from Naz that part of Naz's post says it was, part of Naz's post says it wasn't, and then there seems to be some debate. So before you poll, you might want to double check on that at this time. It seems to be a little bit confusing. So if you hear somebody got a Summon Festival character out of this, then there you go. But this really is just continuing down the same path that we have seen Alum do for so long, of being like, hey guys, look, we know we made a mistake, we know you're angry, so here you are, here's this thing. But this is being a little bit, it's even, this is kind of just weird of just throwing a 39 million download thing out, because I mean, it's just so coincidentally timed to just be like, well, we were going to do 40 million, but we're losing players, so we got to keep our player base invested, and this will make a lot of players who are still playing the game happy, and will keep going on our game, and that's really all we need right now for a while. Fine, okay. But remember this. Remember, this cycle that you guys are in who are still playing the game. And so long as you're okay with it, it's totally fine. I mean, you are adults or human beings at the very least, and maybe a few cats who watch my channel. And not to make too many jokes, but you got to keep it at least a little light. I do think that this is just a continuation of the same stuff that we've seen from Alum. We'll never do this again, but they do something either close to it, or they do it again and piss people off. Then we'll see another apology, and it's just this endless cycle of constantly promising to be better. And as someone who has had some experience with that in the real world, I find it a little distasteful. I definitely dislike it. So I will say that, I mean, this is great for players who want a ton of value. This is, I think, the most value that you'll ever find in Brave Exvius. But in general, I mean, it's also probably a bit of a Lapis drain before the next Mog King. And it is definitely it is not a way to get back old players. It is a way to appease current players by giving them, whatever at this point. Like, remember, this is a big summon pool, and as many chances as you have to potentially get a lot of newer units and a lot of units you may want, or super TMRs or 7-stars or anything like that, you also have the chance to get a lot of bad units too. So weigh your options very carefully, because while the up rates may not be absolutely good, getting newer units, and specifically Summon Festival units that are on a focus banner and not potentially equally weighted, may be more valuable for your resources. But either way, you all can decide for yourselves, and like I said, I do think that this is probably the best value that I've ever seen in Brave Exvius history. Whether or not you end up getting something good out of it, I wish you luck to anybody who is pulling. And for anybody who isn't, well, probably I'm going to say, I'm thinking that FF14, I got to do that, I guess, the prediction video pretty soon, right? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time for something new. Anyway, take care.